Everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Krista Taylor. My dear friend and co-host is Mr. Kevin Duguay, and we are here with many of our friends from VoxxLife and their guests, our guests. We're so glad you popped on here. This is a special episode. I'm really excited about it. This is Real People, Real Results, where we're every 2 weeks, Kevin and I come in with different stories and we share what regular people have experienced with this tech. But today, I had the opportunity to have Dr. Sylvia, not today she agreed, but a few weeks ago, she agreed to come and be a part of the panel tonight. And I thought, oh, there's an opportunity there. We constantly have new people joining us, which we love. We're on a mission to help 1 billion people. The more, the merrier. We need people out there helping us to share this. Well, Dr. Sylvia is one of the original 4 with VoxxLife. And Kevin is also one of the original 4 with VoxxLife. And Lori Dawson and Terry St. Amand are always on this call supporting us. And they are also the other 2 in the original 4. So I thought, you know what, let's take this opportunity now that we have these 4 together at the same time in the same place, because they're all very busy. And let's talk a little bit about how this really came to be in the beginning. So we're going to start it off as usual, because there's guests here that have no idea what this is. They just said, you know, my friend is so excited for me to join this call. I have no idea why. So Kevin's going to start us off and do his 5 minutes on what this wearable neurotech is and how it's impacting you. And then we're going to take you on a different kind of journey tonight that I'm very excited about. I'm very excited for all of you who haven't heard the stories yet to hear how this came to be, how this culture, this family that we are so proud of started with these first 4 that took the leap for us. So Kev, start us off. What is wearable neurotech?
Well, I'm glad we only have 6 items, because 5 minutes is going to go quick, man. Let me tell you, we can't expand the line too much quicker here. VoxxLife is a wearable neurotechnology company, or wearable wellness is another catch-all phrase that we use. But it's a very special technology that uses the power of touch. And it's just using different patterns. Think of it as different passcodes like you would have on your cell phone that optimize different regions of your brain and put it into the best working position, which is a big fancy word called homeostasis. So homeostasis is the ideal place for your brain to work in, or actually all your systems. There's an upper and lower limit, but there's a place right in the middle where it says, I work best right here. And this is what Jay has discovered. So his journey has started way back when, over 10 years ago. And our cutting edge tech is our foremost technology is the one called HPT. So I'm going to give you some abbreviations here, but I'm going to plain it in simple language. So HPT stands for Human Performance Technology. It works on a part of your brain called the brainstem, which is really important because the brainstem is responsible for a lot of major functions, stuff that we don't have to think about, but we use it every day, such as balance, power, stability, stamina, speed, endurance, posture, respiratory function, pain management, just a few important things, right? So we have these different techs in a pattern where you can see on the bottom of this insole, this etching right here, that when you step on this insole through touch, so your nervous system picks up this pattern, so it triggers a response, it affects the body, you feel a difference. These are the 9 words we use to explain this complicated system. So again, triggers a response, it affects the body, you feel a difference, like all of us on this call. So we have ways to deliver it. And the simplicity of it is so cool because there's no drugs, there's no chemicals, there's no pills, there's no batteries, there's no magnets, no needles, there's no side effects. And everything is there to optimize different regions. So the first one, brainstem, we have an insole, very simple. It can also be worn as a sock. You can see this pattern right here. So that all does the same thing on the brainstem. We also have it in a knee sleeve. Okay, it's inside. It's actually in the back of the knee sleeve inside. Okay, so it can be worn on the knee. We have a medical grade compression sock. okay, which is used by our practitioners. Okay, so again, you can see this pattern on the bottom of the foot. Okay, have this. And we also have a very thin insole called labella or a bellow. You can see this, you can see the pattern nicely here. But that pattern, think of it as a code that when your foot touches that pattern, it's picked up by your peripheral nervous system. Where is it processed? In the brainstem. What's it do? Puts it in homeostasis. So to give you an idea, folks, on average, it's 36% improvement in brain function. And how we even further improves it is using a neural patch. So this patch, you can see the etching right there. It's all part of the same technology family with HPT. That's number one. Next one is CBT. It's called cognitive boost technology. This works on the cognitive networks in the brain. So for those of you involved in thinking, like all of us, so think of it as a student, so focus, calmness, clarity, anxiety, memory, these are these networks involved with cognitive. So this sleeve, I'm wearing it on my arm. You're going to see a few of them on the call having on their arms. Everyone's going to put their hand up, say, I got the right answer. I finally got the right product. Here we go. Lots more students. But inside this sleeve is a pattern. And we have videos on this, and you can watch the video and see what happens to the cognitive networks of the brain when you wear this sleeve. That's number two. Number three, NeuroVax, called neuroplastic immune optimization. Fancy word, Neil. But this pink patch, I'm wearing it on my upper arm right there. You can see it right there. Well, sorry for the farmer's tan. I may have blinded you on that one. But anyways, got to work in the sun. But anyways, this patch optimizes your immune system. Okay, so it's a different network in the brain. So that's NeuroVax. Fourth one is the REM patch. Optimizes the sleep networks. So for those of you that have some sleep challenges, there's the patch right there. It's a different pattern. And all you do is you wear it on the lateral part of your arm, just under the deltoid, put on 20 minutes to bed, optimizes the sleep networks. So if you're not sleeping through the night, 365 nights of the year, you have a problem. Okay, so you may want to look at that. So talk to the person, invite you to call. That's number four. Number five, MetaPatch. Okay, and it stands for Neurohaptic Advanced Metabolism, fancy word for a MetaPatch. But you can see this, another different pattern. It optimizes the metabolic network. Okay, so the brain-gut connection, part of that. So metabolism, that one. And the last tech that we have is called Boomi, which is a really cool sock that stands for EMT, or Elevated Mind Technology. What it does, it works part of the limbic system involved with joy, happiness, and optimism, and it's in a sock. It's like those old tennis socks that were very cushiony, but you can see in the bottom of the foot, it's another pattern right there that works on that part of your neural network. So we have 6 different types of technologies, and the foundation is HPT. That's number one. So that's where we start with everybody. And then there's a few others that we can work with. And again, it's the person that invites you to the call. You're going to hear from some of us on this call today. And it's a journey. It's a neuro journey that you're going on with your neuro wellness. So that's Vox. I think I'm under 5 minutes, so I'm done. Okay, you're up, Krista. Go.
You're amazing, Kevin. Amazing. So that's a snapshot. As Kevin says, there's lots of information on all of these technologies. Lots. The person that invited you here can show it to you. You can go right on their website, their replica website, and you can look through all the different information that's there. What we suggest is you start where we all started, with human performance technology. That's where VoxxLifers started. That's where all of us started. And as Kevin said, that's the foundation that you layer on top based on your needs. Some of us wear it all and gain the benefits of it all because we've had the experience with this on us to understand how impactful it is. And the person who invited you can show you the testimonials of other people just like you who are very skeptical in the beginning and thought, maybe, what if? All of us were that person in the very beginning. And then we tried it. So get enough to get on your body from laundry day to laundry day. It all comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to worry about. Get enough to wear it, and then you tell us. You'll have the experience based on your own makeup, how you're going to respond to this tech. And we can't wait to hear from you. But right now, we have the pleasure of inviting Dr. Sylvia Passfield to the mic. I'm just asking you to unmute there, Sil.
Yeah.
Hi. Welcome.
Hi, everyone.
We are thrilled to have you. Thrilled to have you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Nice to see your face. So hard to be apart from people. So nice to see you. So Sylvia, for people that don't know you yet, tell us a little bit about before Vox. Like, tell us a little bit about who you are, what your practice is all about, just so people have an idea that don't already know you.
Yeah, so it's like basically my background is a little bit different and still a little bit unknown in North America because I studied bioenergy medicine or complementary and alternative medicine in Europe. Now, I don't want to get into involved like what that means and everything else because it's a little bit complicated, but because this is a new field and it is heavily involved and based on neuroscience and based on the whole entire frequencies and frequency channels into the human body, that's why this is what I'm doing and this is what I'm working on.
Okay, so I just wanted you to explain that for people so that everybody understands. She was coming from a background that could clearly understand the science behind VoxxLife, where, you know, somebody like me was like, I'll just try it to see if it helps my sore foot. Still was looking at it from a different lens altogether, right? So Dr. Sylvia, what was it that made you take a look at VoxxLife or decide to try it out?
Well, that was Laurie Dawson's fault. So the reason why.
You're going to get to meet Laurie Dawson today, people.
Yeah. No, the reason why, because Laurie and we were friends even before VoxxLife. And like being friends and being in the same interest ratio, like both of us. So many times Laurie came to me with some new products, some new companies, and like I say, it's like, hey, Sil, can you tell me if this is worth it? It is okay, or it is good or not, or this is doing what it's supposed to. So, and so many times I said, like, Laurie, don't even bother. Now, one night, Laurie came in and she's like, Sil, I want to show you something, but I just don't know if you're gonna yell with me or you're gonna laugh about me. So she showed me the socks, and the guy I was looking at, and I was like, okay. So show me the test, and she was looking at me like, how do you know that there is a test? I was like, never mind, just show me. So the rest of it is history. The reason why, because like if somebody really knows what what you're looking at, even at the patterns, and in that time we didn't had anything else, just the insoles and the stasis socks, like the athletic socks. So if somebody really knows what you're looking at, you can understand what is the possible outcome. Now, from this moment on, the journey is just started because I tried to talk to so many other healthcare professionals, and like I was being accused, it's like, you have no idea what you're talking about, you don't know anything. It's like, sure, that's fine. I still keep going. So when I see the actual test results and the actual product, my first thought was like, okay, I can use this one in my practice. And like just even to step over the first, sorry guys, the first initial step where I will have to open up the brain stem to respond to any of those therapies, what I'm doing. And if it is doing what it's supposed to, like according into my brain, like we can help a lot of people even without treatments. So that was the beginning.
That was the beginning for you. And just so people understand, like give us just a few examples of people that would come to you for treatment, just so people have an idea. What would they be dealing with where they might come to you? I know there's a large range, but just an example,
Okay, so basically it is a wide range. The main focus is like neuroscience, like brain injuries, post-concussion, any type of brain injuries and impacted or involved other or related issues, because it is involved virology, bacteriology, recovery, structural, functional. So basically, that's the basic start. And from there, I'm dealing with cancer, infertility, and for so many things, because if you believe it or not, most of the time, all of them it's related to the brain.
Right. I have learned that by being at VoxxLife. So thanks, Sil. That gives people, I wanted people to have a snapshot of who you are. Just like thinking about that, you're thinking about using in your practice, and your practice cares for so many different challenges that I just thought that was an important note for people that are just learning about this, so that they're learning that this is what practitioners are using this for. Those who have taken the time to look at and understand the science and the impact. I don't work with the brainstem other than with Vox, so I wouldn't look at it with the same lens as you. And it's really important to know that practitioners are seeing it from this angle. So thank you for sharing that. Now, friends, I'm going to ask all four of our original four to join me. So Terry, you should be able to unmute, and Lori. Oh, sorry, Terry. Geez, I just.
Krista, can I just throw something in regarding Sil?
Yeah, cool? Of course. Yes, please.
So
yes.
For those of you who don't know, I've had the pleasure of, I guess, donating my body to Sylvia's clinic to be worked on, along with other family members of mine. And what I saw, what I've learned from Sil as an athletic therapist, is stuff I was never taught in sports medicine. I was never taught what she knows. And I have referred other athletes to her who are dealing with post-concussion, for example. And what I saw happen to these people that were under her care was amazing. And I look back when I was in hockey and football with these other athletes that had these injuries, that if I knew what I knew now back then, would have made a huge difference for these people with their recovery, rehabilitation, return to function, whether post-career, during career, whatever. But I was never taught this. And the first time I met Sylvia, it was way over my head, because I'd never heard this before. But then when you experience, the care of what I experienced myself, my brother and my daughter, wow, it was just an unbelievable neuro journey, as I call it. And every time I go back, and I'm working on my wellness with Sylvia, just so you know, I'm a patient of hers. Okay, so I'm not like, oh, I don't do anything. No, I'm learning. Why? Because we all know how important this is, and the knowledge that she has of what she's doing is going to affected a lot of people in a very, very positive way, and it's growing. So the vision that she has, it's just an amazing walk to be a part of it. And if it wasn't for VoxxLife, I probably will never have met Sylvia. But I'm sure glad she's in my life. Let me tell you that much. Not that she's Hungarian, because we're Hungarian too. So I have that connection. Okay. But anyways, that's another point. But anyways, it's been an amazing learning curve with Sil, and all that she's able to do, the knowledge that she has. So that's a shout out to I call her my F1 neuromechanic, just so you know. Okay.
Yeah. Makes sense.
That's Sylvia.
It makes sense. And this is, so one of the things for, if you're listening to this, if you have not been involved with Vox yet, or if you're new, one of the things I hope you'll take away from this evening's conversations is really where the foundation of our one team culture came from. I have the pleasure of knowing these four, and I would consider them good friends of mine. I've met them all through Vox. I didn't know any of them before I came to Vox. It's part of the gift of being on this journey. And I hope that you'll take that away from this. I want you to see, we talk all the time about how we are different. And I can say we are different than any company that I've ever worked for. And having my own business, but having this team right alongside me is unbelievable. So I want you to have the opportunity to get to know them if you haven't yet. So this is why we're here. Next, let's see. I'm going to start by asking a question, and then I'm going to ask each person to respond. So before I do that, I'll tell you that hopefully you've had the opportunity to hear Jay introduce Kevin in the past. Jay has a great story about how him and Kevin Duguay met. This is before VoxxLife was launched as an MLM company. Okay, so Kevin and Jay met because Kevin's an athletic therapist. Jay wanted his input on the tech and how it could help athletes. Kevin has worked with major league athletes in many different sports. And if there's an L in it, basically Kevin probably knows somebody that's either on a team, coaching a team, or has been on a team in that league. So Kevin and Jay met. Then it's my understanding that Lori and Kevin were drawn together. Terry and Lori are brother and sister. And Sylvia and Lori were dear friends and working together on health and wellness before they ever came across VoxxLife. So the foundation, the roots of the field, the people that make up the MLM team are rooted in family, which is why I think it's grown and sparked and driven out of that. So sit back and relax, enjoy this time with us. And I look forward to hearing what we're going to hear from these guys. So guys, we're going to start with question number one is when you first were starting. So VoxxLife launched, for everybody's knowledge, in June of 2016. So we're coming up on the 5-year mark. So I'm guessing right about this time, you guys were like buzzing, right? It was coming up, getting close to launch time. And I'm sure you were working diligently trying to get ready for a soft launch and the hard open on June 18th, I think it was, of 2016. So did you have apprehensions when you started out? Were you nervous about taking the words NeuroTech to the world, wearable NeuroTech to the world, telling people that you could improve their balance with a pair of insoles? How were you feeling back then? And I'm going to start with Kevin. I'm going to talk Kevin, Lori, Sil, and then Terry on this one. So Kevin, tell us.
Oh, well, I was fortunate because I had like 2 years of prep before the launch, kind of deal, like the Lone Ranger with Jay. And I was excited. Because I had already been fortunate to be sharing. It wasn't like this is the first time I was going to touch somebody with a tech. Terry and I and Lori and Sil had already been at this for a period of time, and we were seeing the magic, right? We were seeing what was happening when we touched people with this tech. And, Terry had the foresight of his wisdom and how it came. So I was excitedly excited, if that makes any sense, where this was going, because I kind of saw this a couple years prior when I met Jay. I got home that night and I saw what this could be. Because of the demo. Like the demo was just, I know that's a question. I got to say that answer for the question. I know that. But anyways, I was excited. I was really, really excited for this opportunity of what we were launching. It's like the Facebook moment or Microsoft or that kind of moment with this. And it was a very wonderful day. So I was excited.
Very, very cool. Lori, what about you?
Well, Krista, I was 110% committed because I came from a very dark place, and many people know my story. I had a meltdown in my 50s, and prior to connecting with VoxxLife, I was sitting at home suffering panic attacks 24/7, anxiety, not sleeping. And one of the things that I used to do to self-soothe in my home at that period of time was sit and massage my feet. And that was 2012. So fast forward to 2015, when we re-met Jay, and that's a story in itself. I felt like it was just a supernatural gift, and that the journey was rolling out the way it was meant to roll out. And so there was not a single doubt in my mind. And when we sat with Kevin and Jay and Terry, and Daya and Henson was involved back then, and Inder, because Jay invited us in. Unbeknownst to us, Jay was going to be at this meeting that Kevin and I had scheduled, and Terry was just along for the ride because I said, I'm going to talk to this big time athletic therapist and I don't have the jargon. You better come with me. So he came along just for, moral support kind of thing. And out of the office behind Kevin comes Jay, and we were so dumbfounded, like, what is going on here? Like, we thought we were being punked, actually. So we sat and talked, and the demo was done to us, and just like everybody else, Terry kept saying, I wasn't ready over and over again. Would Jay do the demo? And by the time we left, we thought, well, I said, I don't know athletes. They were approaching athletes at the time, amongst other people. I just kept saying, I don't know any athletes. And the ones that I do know aren't going to be listening to me about performance, but I do know seniors, and I do know seniors are tippy, and I know this is an application for them. And so we just said, let's get this to the masses. And I've never looked back, never second guessed, nothing. It was go time.
Amazing.
Answer to prayer, really. Yeah. My own healing. And then out of my story, I was able to share authentically.
Love that. That says so much right there, doesn't it?
And if you think it wasn't ordained from on high, tell me how a sink brought me into a livelihood and the most meaningful work I've ever done.
Tell that. People don't know that. Tell that.
So my husband and I were doing a reno in our kitchen, and we had said the deal was we are not going to pay full price for anything. So he came upstairs one day, announced that he was going to pay full price at Home Depot for a sink. And I said, no, we shook on not full price. And he said, well, I like this sink. And so he went off to work, and I went 12 pages into Kijiji before I found a brand new $900 sink for $100. But I had to drive to Niagara Falls to get it. The lady I bought the sink off of asked me what I did. I did energy medicine to help me pull out of my funk. And she said, you need to talk to a guy I know, Kevin Duguay. And I thought to myself, yeah, this girl was a little eccentric, I liked her, but, she had some ideas. Who's to say I wasn't that same thing? So anyways, I'm on my way home, and Kevin gets in touch with me. So I thought, whoa, this is happening. So Kevin and I planned to meet, and the rest is history. I wouldn't have connected with Kevin, perhaps, if I hadn't had a husband who defied our arrangement.
Thank goodness for the reno. It's so serendipitous, though. It's so serendipitous. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Sylvia, what about you?
Well, yes, it was. I was I was in a mixed emotions. The reason why, because being in fear, I think it was normal in my side to jump into something unusual, not known. Let's face it, in that time, none of us really know what's gonna happen or or whatnot. So to jump into to something which is new, it was exciting because I knew what the product and the tech can do, but I had a fear because I was being a practitioner, I was like, oh boy, what's gonna happen with this one? I don't know, but you know what? Let's go. So at the meantime, I was so excited there because even in that time, I couldn't really explain, or I shouldn't really explain what's the technology do, but I knew that. So I was knowing this one, not just from experience, when you know something, you was just you know what, let's go. I was sure. So yes, it like for me it was a little bit mixed emotions, but I know the product, I believed in it, and I believed in my team and my friends, and the rest of it is history.
Yep.
Love that. Terry, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. Thank you
Thanks
for
for
having me on
being
this
here.
call.
Of course. So
Awesome.
Terry is Lori's brother, and I would say now Terry's like everybody at Vox's big brother. He's the guy that's always trying to help all of us, right? He's always there. If you call him because you don't know something, or you text him because you don't know something, he'll help you, like that, always. So we appreciate you being here, Terry. How did you feel in the beginning? Were you nervous, apprehensive?
Well,
What was going on?
it's really funny, Krista, because you know, my sister had been in a dark place, and so I was consequently in a dark place. You know, my sister's been my best friend as long as I can remember, and we weren't looking for VoxxLife. You know, our father had died. There was, you know, there was some stuff going on, and I had known Jay since 2008, and this was 2015. And in hindsight, I'm so grateful to Lori's husband for reneging on this deal, on their kitchen deal. Like, I will be eternally grateful to this guy for being a jerk. Like, it was awesome. It was the best day of his life to be a jerk, because it brought us to this place. And when my sister called me and said, hey, you know, we were doing pulse electromagnetic field therapy. We were selling beds from a company called Curatron out of Israel. And looking for other opportunities because things that happened in our family corporations that's another novel. Anyways, she called me up and said, hey, I got this guy I'm supposed to go see in Toronto. His name's Kevin Duguay. He's a sports therapist, and look at his resume. It's as long as my arm. And she's yelling at me, and I said, what's his name? She said, Kevin Duguay. I said, oh, yeah, I'd love to go with you to Toronto, because I want to find out whether he's related to Ron Duguay, who played for the New York Rangers back in the early 80s and had the best hair in the NHL ever. And he used to date Cheryl Teague. So I wanted to go and see if Dukes was related to him. And unbeknownst to us, we were going to this company called Vox Sports. And Dukes, you'll like this.
Yeah.
This is one of the original shirts we got called Vox Sports when we were looking at how to launch. And so we go to Toronto, and unbeknownst to us, Jay walks out of the room, and he's like, Terry. And I'm like, okay, this is really, I'm kind of lost here. Goes through the whole scenario, as Lori said, shows us what he's been gifted from above, this technology, does the whole lateral dynamic stability assessment to me. And I want to kill him because he keeps knocking me off balance. And I like thought I was kind of athletic. And I was getting kind of mad. But anyways, after I got over myself and thought, this is really wild what this stuff is doing. And after, you know, it might have been revved a bit, because I think we went through a pot and a half of coffee. But Jay asked, you know, would you help me work on this and launch this? And I'm like, I don't know. My dad passed away. I got all kinds, and I'm like, slapped myself in the face. My sister, I think, slapped me in the face, and said, you were praying about this, and it's being presented to you, and you're saying no. Like, the door opened, and so I looked at it. I didn't even know it was an opportunity. I had no clue it was an opportunity, but my sister did, because when we left there, I said to Jay, well, let me wear some of this stuff, and you know, maybe I'll try and sell some of it. And Jay said, I'll give you some stuff. And Lori was adamant and said, no, we're not taking nothing for free. We're paying for it. And I said, oh, okay. So we ended up paying for it. And I went and sold some of this product at a hockey tournament, just in prototypes. And in a day and a half, sold $2,600 worth of product at a hockey tournament. And I was freaked out. And I'm like, oh my goodness, there's something here. And I came back to Jay, and I was so excited about the response from being totally green in an arena and getting parents to test their own children laterally and dynamically, and presenting the fact that you know, this tech's going to make your child, your daughter, or your son a safer player. This is going to reduce the risk of injury. If they can improve their balance, you can buy them $1,000 stick, but if they're not strong enough to shoot it, what good is it? If they're $1,000 pair of skates, or 200 sticks are about $250 now to get a good one, but $1,000 pair of skates, if they have no balance, what are the skates going to do, right? So we start with the core values of your body's own innate, and which is balance and so on. We don't think about. And so when I saw what we were able to sell in a hockey tournament, and this wasn't a world beater tournament, this was, this was just a, an average A and what they call hub level rep hockey. It was the Wayne Gretzky International Tournament. I mean, I was just so revved when I came back, but it didn't start out that way, Krista. And Jay was gracious to us to just take whatever we wanted and give him some money, and we didn't even have pricing established then. It was just a gesture on our behalf to say, hey, we got some skin in the game here, not knowing how much skin Jay had in it, obviously. And I came back so thrilled. And one of the things that was the most memorable about that day, because I always queried about this technology in athletes, because I was an athlete, and when you get an edge on somebody, you don't tell them what your secret is. So with this technology, when people were getting an edge, it's hard to get them even at an amateur level to say why they're better, or why they're shooting harder, or why they're skating better, or why they're running better, or lifting more weights. But we had a guy that came in the booth with plantar fasciitis. And myself and Ron Hoover, who's now our medical sales director, who played for Boston Bruins, we put a pair of insoles in this guy's shoes, and he said, I've tried everything, nothing works. And we're like, well, you haven't tried this because it's not even on the market yet. These are prototypes. And he walked away, and we visually watched him straighten up when he walked away. We visually saw, and I looked at Ron and said, did you just see what I just saw? Did that guy just straighten up? And he went, I think he did. And so he went up the stairs. We told the guy, give us $40. If it doesn't work for you, we're going to be here for another day. If it doesn't work for you, come back and we'll give you your money back. Well, it was literally like 15 minutes. And I see the guy coming from the second floor of the arena, coming down the stairs again. And he's actually like skipping down the stairs like he was a teenager again. And I hit my friend Hoovy, and I'm like, hey, Hoovy, get the $40 out. Here comes Buddy. He's going to want his money back. This guy came to the booth, and he was literally in tears. And he thanked us, like we were a god. And I'm like, hey, buddy, this has nothing to do with us. We're just here trying to peddle it. We're just trying to expose it to the world. You got to thank, you can thank the inventor. And Ron said, in fact, I'm going to get him on the phone. And we called him. It was over Christmas holidays, and he was in Florida with Manji and their kids, Galen and Jasmine. And Jay talked to this guy for 15 or 20 minutes, and this guy was so grateful. And it was like a light bulb moment for me. It was like the TSN turning point. It was like wellness. And so giving people a better function in their life came before we even launched the company. Now, it was in December of 2015, and we launched in June of, so to answer the question, I didn't know it was an opportunity at first. I just thought it was something pretty cool that I was just going to wear. And my sister saw it, and she's like, no, we're getting product. And she got boxes of the stuff, and we were going to go and share it with people or whatever. And so I just took her lead, and was grateful that she did it, grateful to her husband for being a brat and not being obedient. And that was sort of the beginning of the journey from my perspective and from Lori's perspective. And then we presented, shared it with Sylvia, because Lori and Sylvia were best friends, and Sylvia's like my big sister too. And we've known each other for a long time. And when you get a doctor with Sylvia's knowledge and Sylvia's credential that looks at this and just gives you like oh my God, you know what I mean? You got a tiger by the tail. And none of us really, I didn't understand it yet at this point, Krista. I didn't really know what it was doing unequivocally to my own body's function until I started to wear it. Yeah, you did the tip test and whatever, but at 52 years old, I was struggling, with 52 and 53. I was mad at myself because I was taking so long to recover, and all of a sudden I started wearing this stuff when I was 54, I guess it was, and now I'm turning 60 this November, and I'm doing stuff in my turning into 60 that I didn't do in my 40s. And people were telling me, oh, that's the way it's supposed to be. When you turn 50, it's downhill. And I was mad about that. And so now everything that I do, because I try to eat well, and I've got great company around me with Dr. Sill and my sister and Doogsy, we all try to eat well and do the right things. But now my body's uptaking it so much better and so much faster with this technology, keeping my neurology. So it was really about, 2 months after the initial meeting with Jay that I got absolutely tuned and revved about this. And I'm like, I could hardly wait to launch. I was buzzing every day. And so, we didn't have a company yet, and I was sharing the products and tilting people and doing barroom tricks. It was so much fun. So didn't see it as a great opportunity at the beginning, just saw it as something cool. But thank goodness for my sister, and thank God for, Doogs, and now it's an opportunity that all of us can share. And what's really cool about that is it started with Jay trying to help family, right? And I seen a huge improvement in my sister, from where she was with this technology. And so I'm forever grateful for that. And that's why, I wanted to instill that the best that I could, that this is family. We're all in this together. None of us are bigger than this technology. What we have is a gift here to humanity. What we have is a responsibility to share it. We don't have to jam it down people's throats. We just have to share it, and they'll try it when they're ready, and be on purpose in our integrity with what we're sharing with this. So
Very cool.
Yeah, wasn't right away for sure.
Yeah, it's so cool. I like the 4 perspectives, right? There's 4 different lenses looking at the same thing. You were all looking at the same thing. You're all doing, talking to Jay and on the same path, but you saw it from totally different places, which I think amplifies now, right? Whenever people see this and they learn about the business opportunity, they're coming from somewhere, maybe where the person presenting it is coming from, or maybe they're coming from somewhere else. Maybe they don't see it right away. Maybe they can only see it. Maybe they're a practitioner and they're seeing it, but they're not sure. Or maybe they're Kevin that's going, my whole education just got flip-flopped and I got to get my head around this and see what I can do with it. So very cool to hear the different perspectives. That was awesome. My next question for you guys, and I'm going to start, Lori, with you for this one. Then my next question is, so please give me an example of how, or an impact that having this VoxxLife business has had on you personally. So an impact that having the VoxxLife business in your world has had on you personally. So I'm going to start with Lori, then Sil, then Terry, then Kevin. So Lori, please go ahead, my dear.
I would say that this business, apart from allowing me to have more disposable cash than I've ever had in my life, has given meaning to my life. And so, I know, and by the way, brother, thanks very much for the complimentary approach. Yeah, Terry and I are tight, and it was very sweet of you, brother, to credit me like you did. Yeah, I was pretty determined we were doing this. Anyway, I was in such a dark place that I was praying my way out of it. And that old thing that says, if you want God to release you from whatever, then he sends you a boat, and then he sends you a plane, and then, I wasn't going to miss this opportunity. And everybody was on the same page in terms of, even Manji. Like Manji said to Jay one time, do you think that this gift was given to you just so people could score more goals and get more baskets? And Jay has shared that before. So it, as Terry said, it was bigger than all of us. And so the impact for me was, my life had purpose. When we were in the printing business, I remember a phrase that one of our operations people used to say, and it was like, at the end of the day, Lori, we're really just lining bird cages with newspaper printed matter, right? So when VoxxLife came along, not only did my health and wellness physically and mentally improve, like vastly, but I was facilitating that in other people's lives. And the demographic was across the board. So it was everything, everyone from kiddos to teens to young adults to middle agers to seniors. And it was a blast. And what was really fun about it was to be a part of something from the embryo stage right the way up. So, you know, the fun we used to have, the fights we used to have, Kevin and I would frustrate because the spelling of the printed matter was, the grammar was, Jay asked me to write a letter one time, a welcome letter. And I kept trying and he wasn't happy. And finally I figured out that he wanted sort of modern vernacular as opposed to the Queen's English. So that was a back and forth and a back and forth. And here's what a special moment that I remember. I was taking the tech to seniors, and a group that a friend of mine, Carol, was involved with was a group of grandparents, who were raising their grandkids. And so these seniors were really hard pressed because the kiddos were little, and you know, it's one thing to have the energy of being a parent, but now you got to have that energy as a grandparent. So one of the ladies' name was Violet, and Violet was raising two granddaughters, both autistic, one blind, one nonverbal. And Violet was riddled with arthritis. Anyways, she said, I don't know why, but I'm going to spend the $25 for these socks. And I really hope they help. So Violet, and I didn't even know to tell her this, but something in me said to tell Violet to wear them overnight. Well, Violet slept in the basement of her home and the two girls slept upstairs. And Violet used to have to go hands and knees up the stairs because her feet hurt so bad in the mornings to be able to walk up the stairs. Well, not only did Violet walk up the stairs, but she went to aqua aerobics, left the socks on in the pool. And instead of being the wall hanger, which was her nickname that day, she was able to go out into the middle of the pool and do her water exercises. And Violet was 78 years old. So when I told Jay that story, it was like, Jay, hello. He was battling back the tears. Yeah. That was in April of 2016. And I just thought, this couldn't be better from every angle. Like Jay's heart was in it. The whole family need for me was being fed. And I was gaining best friends like I'd never known before, because we were foxhole buddies. We were in the trenches. And if you know Sill's kind of like, you don't know what's coming. And I brought the products to Sill and thought she's either going to let me have it or the opposite's going to happen. And what Sill said to me was, I want to meet the inventor, and the sooner the better. So
That's
yeah,
like a lot, eh?
What VoxxLife has done for me is give me a sense of purpose and a sense of the divine, and actually has brought me to a higher place, and just in terms of my personal development. I just can't even imagine my life without it. I really can't.
Oh, I love that. Thank you, Lori. Sylvia,
Thank
what
you,
would you like
Krista.
to say?
Yeah. So my, like, how is VoxxLife life impacted my life? Okay, here is the story what not too many people knows until this point. VoxxLife impacted me 3 different ways: my health, my friends and family, and financially. The reason why, because before VoxxLife, I'm an immigrant in this country by myself, like no relatives or any family members in this country. And I'm a Lyme survivor. And I was in the place with the 3 vertebrae compressed fracture. And of course, like being in this field, like where I am, like which is unusual and rare, and definitely mostly hardly understandable for so many people. And I was just after a bankruptcy for a company what is caused by some nice people on earth. What I was left in that point when Lori walked into my door, nothing else, just my knowledge and my belief. So now the impact where I stood up, that is like, yes, I know what it is. And yes, I'm going to lead this. And yes, I'm going to show this to the world. And yes, I'm going to show as many people as is possible. Now, 6 years later, I gained a lot of friends. They are my new family for life. So, and professionally, a product that can help my client, and even can help like other people, even without seeing me, and easy and understandable, even for my clients. Now, what this means easy and understandable, because when you walk into my office and you walk around and like you just like, okay, there is a light, there is this, there is that. It's like, so what's that? It's like, well, okay, so let's talk about pulsed electromagnetic field therapy, and let's talk about proprioceptogenic neuroreceptors and everything else. And they just like,
Yes.
like, so, so just because, and here is my challenge, because I know everything, what I'm doing and what that means. My challenge to explain like in the plain English, it is a little bit still hard. So like when I try to explain, like especially these combined modalities, like a lot of people are like, yeah, you know what, whatever, just do whatever what you want. I'm like, okay,
You're making me feel better, so just keep going.
they will feel better. Like that's they just like, it's like, I don't, it's like, okay, fine. So as soon as like, you know, when so it's like when I'm telling them that's like, okay, here is a socks or here is a patch, and I want you to wear it all the time when you come to see me for treatment and between them, because this is part of your supplementation. So what that means is easy and understandable. At least they don't looking at me that I have 3 heads, and it's easy. I don't change their routine that much because, okay, put in a socks, easy. Put in a patch or an insole or something else or a sleeve. It's like, they just like, okay, it's like, I got it. Now, the final, like, you know, like, and as I mentioned, financially, like, when, like, I mean, it is not a secret. When we started Vox, as I mentioned, where I was in a really, really hard and dark place, I was feeling lost. Like I was questioning even, like, you know, the purpose of my life. I didn't even had cars in that point. Like a car. So it's like, yeah, so now, as I just said, like I just had my beliefs and I had my friends. So here, like financially, a lot of people said that it's like, oh, it was easy for you. It's like, sure. It's like, it was a lot of work for all of us as the first step, not the money. And I didn't do it for the money. We pulled together, we solved the problems, and we've done what we had to achieve what we been believed. And the financial rewards, it is came later. And yes, right now, even so many times people are like, yes, it's good for you. Like, okay. If you're gonna talk to all of us, like when we started, none of us was rich. None of us had a lot of money. We just had the fun. And even till now, we don't do it for the money. We're doing for our beliefs. But these triple impact, it could happen how it's happened for me. It could happen for everyone else.
Such an important point. And for those of you who don't know, Jay has set the company up that way. So every person that comes in gets paid on 8 levels, right? You have to reach your rank for that, but you 8 levels down. So somebody could come in tomorrow and become the top earner by the end of the year, just based on who they know, I guess. But it's such an important point, so to say that everybody has the same opportunity, and that the motivating force behind this is not the money. The money is fantastic and everybody should celebrate that for sure. But this is so much bigger than that. Such an important thing to share. So thank you, Sylvia, very, very much. Terry, my dear, what do you want to say?
I'll just be very brief. To be quite honest, mine started out about the money.
Fair, that's fair.
Mine started about the money because, you know, unfortunately, you know, I was in a situation that I needed to get out in a family business. And I had been looking at network marketing for a couple of years and studying why so many people were unsuccessful at it. And so I think I nailed it down. And so it started out as I need to make money enough for me and my sister, my family member, younger family member. I don't need to go there. I threw my sister out on the street after 18 years in our family businesses with nothing. And so I was focused on the money side of it from the beginning, Krista, just because of a situation. But all it took was one person to have a profound experience. And it totally changed. It brought me a joy in my life that I couldn't explain. Nobody ever wrapped their arms around me for doing a print job for them and told me how beautiful their print job looked. But when somebody comes up to you with humility and gratefulness in their heart because you worked with them and you encouraged them to be better and you encouraged them to try it and you made an impact in their life, I totally lost focus of the money. But the reality is that the money took care of itself way better when I did that than it did when I was focusing on the money. And so now my goal is just every day to do my best to try and help somebody share this technology, do my best to improve their quality of life. If they want to learn the business, I'm here to give you my 2 cents on how I was successful with a team now of over 10,000 people. And I mean, the fact was that I was focused on the money at first. I was focused on how can I be in the top 2% of network marketers to make this money. But it only took one person, and that person was Rebecca Naylor, who I think you know, who had MS, and she couldn't get up out of a lunge. She put her socks on and could get up out of a lunge. And she was so emotional that I was leaking like a sieve when she showed her gratitude to me. And I was just grateful that she was open enough to try that. And that's happened hundreds and hundreds of times. So when you take the focus off the money, even though the money is very, very good, because with more money, you can impact more people's lives, right? You can be more generous with the products, you can do whatever. But when you take the focus off the money and you're genuine in your approach of helping people, the financial reward of this business, especially this one, because every human on the planet can use this, right? We don't have to look for a specific type of person. It works on every person in the world. If you have a brain, put your hand up on this call. This product will work for you. So everybody in this world that has a brain, this product will work and benefit you in some way. And so the audience is endless. The audience is endless. And so when you look at truly being on point about helping people, the financial reward will come, but you have to do the work. You have to do the work, and you have to show up like all these people on this call tonight. You just have to show up. So financially, I'm very, very blessed.
Amazing.
Very grateful.
I got to say, Terry, you said that you were focused on the money, but the reality is it wasn't even for you. This is something that I think is an important point. So those of you who don't know Terry, it wasn't about money for him. He was concerned about Lori. So even though he says it was totally about the money, it wasn't to line his bank account. So I just thought it's worth mentioning that, yeah, the money is very important. It's very, very important. But also the whole point of who you are, who I know you to be, is that you were protecting your sister. So it was coming from something much greater than the money.
Hashtag fact.
Yeah. You can't be modest here. I'll call you out, right, Lori? Tell it how it is, people.
Oh, heck yeah. Krista, that's one of your many strengths.
Thank you. Kevin, I want to hear from you.
Kleenex moment. Thanks, Terry. You know, I think back, you know, before all of you on this call, when I got Voxxed by Jay, it was like a light bulb went off, right? I mean, I got crushed, I got humbled, but I was open to listening. And I got home that night and I remember telling my wife, I said, "You're not going to believe what happened today." She said, "Is it one of those things?" "No, it's the thing." "Really?" "Yeah." And I just had this vision of what could happen, right? And I it's like Terry said, I went to work for Jay as a volunteer. I said, "I'll help you. I'll do whatever you need me to do, man, to get this out there," because I knew what this could do. And I agree with Terry that I knew if we got this on people, God would just open doors. I could just see it. So I said, you know what? We got to get out there and start getting this out on people, which we did. And, you know, one of the most powerful moments for me was when I actually did the demo on my brother. Some of you may not know this, but my brother passed away in October 2019 from brain cancer. But I remember 3 days post-op neurosurgery, 30 staples on the side of his head, 4x5 tumor taken out of his brain. I was so vaccinated. My family thought it was nuts, right? I said, "I got to do the demo on my brother, man. I see he needs help." And I remember doing the demo on my brother in the family unit at Mississauga Trillium Hospital. And he didn't know where he was. You know what happened to his head. You know why he got this bump, but he knew what happened in the demo. He could feel it. And it was like, you know what? I think I can help. And it was, you know, I've had a lot of moments with this tech, but that one was like, because I talked to people going, 3 days post neurosurgery. Are you psycho, Kev? "No, man, it's my brother. He needs help. He gets brain damage." And, you know, what's come out of this with the people I've met, the friends we've made, the vision and the mission of this company is unlike anything. And it's about what I've been involved with teams, helping support. So it's part of me, but where it's gone to in regards to helping people, and all of us on this call, all I learned is when you start helping people, like Terry was talking about, you'll never run out of people to help. God just keeps opening more doors. He said, "There's another one, there's another one, there's another one." And they just keep coming and they find us now. Now they're starting to find us. Way back in the beginning, it was not like that. But, you know, I got crushed. I got crushed, but I never forgot what happened the first time I got touched by that tech. That was my instant belief. My first appointment, I got shot down in flames. And Jay saw me go down in flames. He says, "Kev, you got to feel pain, bro." I feel a lot of pain, Kev. You got to feel pain. How committed are you? I'm all in, Jay, still in. But my second meeting, well, that was pretty cool. That was some pro athletes. That's another story. And the look in those guys' eyes was like, man, I finally got something right. I listened to my gut. And that look on those pro guys was like, what the, you know, you can put the rest of the words together. It was epic. But where it's gone, like the wellness side and the people we've touched and I've seen, and the rookies on this call and the veterans, there's one of them on the call today. I was on a 3-way call with her with a doc today. She was just as excited as I was 7 years ago. I love that. It's so special. And this is the fun part of this. Yeah, it's hard work. I work at it. I'm a Dairy Queen 7 days a week. But I don't take vacations. I take Voxcations. I get to travel, stay with people. It's like a billet. It's amazing. It's amazing feeling with this family that we have here, this culture that we're building as a group, and that we're all in this thing together. And we're all here on behalf of Jay and his mom. That's how I look at it. It's because imagine if Jay's mom, if she doesn't have MS. That's how it started. Jay's mom had MS. That's where it started. And he goes off and meets his dentist, and then it's all part of the story. But you just like Lori in the Sink, Terry and Ron, whatever. You couldn't have written this if you tried. It's impossible. But what's come out of it, man, I count my blessings every day, man, because it's taken me out of survival mode, man, because I was in survival mode. And I said, Terry's right. When you get blessed, you just get to bless more people, and it's fun, man. Like I think of these guys, like these philanthropists, that they can do a lot of good. You know what? We are doing that. That's the vision I have for all of us. We can be we are everyday people that just like they were, but we have this unique product and this unique tech that's so profound that everybody that does, they're going down on that demo, man. They're going down. And when we put them on that tech, the lights go on, going, what the flip just happened? Yeah, pretty cool, eh? That's what we got. And it works every time. That's what's so sick with this tech. That was my call today with my live with this doc. He's smart dude, man, but he was like, what the flip have you guys figured out? Are you kidding me? You got me curious now, man. Yeah, because he's never heard this before. That's cool. That's really, really cool what we get to see.
Krista, I just wanted to add one thing just before we go. I know we're running late on time, but I just want to salute, everybody that's on this call tonight.
Yep.
Like, you guys have no idea how much of an integral part you are of this. All we did, us four just got the opportunity to go first.
Yeah.
And we took it. But successes, whether it's financial, successes are measured in lots of ways. Yeah. They're not always measured with financial. And so don't measure what you do in this business by financial. Just keep doing it, keep sharing it.
Yeah.
The blessings will come from doing that. And for you people showing up tonight on this call and being part of this, guests, associates, new people showing up tonight, man, you're heroes in my book.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's all I got to say.
Amazing. Friends, this is a special edition of Real People, Real Results. And we had this edition because we had the opportunity to have the original four here with us tonight. I have more questions for them. I think I'm going to bring them back in a couple of months, and we're going to keep going, keep learning, and keep giving new people the opportunity to hear the story of the first four, because we are indebted to you guys. We're so grateful to you for having the guts to go first, for saying yes to the opportunity, and for digging deep. Like, it looks, people say things like, oh, they had it easy because they went first. Can you imagine, just for a moment, being the first people saying to the general public, yeah, we have a pair of socks for that?
Yep. Can I add something to that?
Please, yes.
Yes. So, like as you said, the first moment, it was I tried to explain this to, never mind the professionals, but even for the regular public, like, they look at us as like, okay, you lost your mind. However, as you, Terry, said that he is salute everyone here, I'm salute here everyone as well. The reason and the message what I want to say, that never give up, because the technology touched me personally first, because as is like, the story continues, as I told you, that I'm a Lyme survivor, plus I had a 3 vertebrae compressed fracture. So when VoxxLife started, and I had to go back to work, means that if somebody knows my office, like they knows that is like right now 12 hours, go straight. Now, with compressed fracture, I was thinking like, how am I gonna do this? Now I'm doing it. So, and it has helped me. It has helped, like I've seen not hundreds, thousands of people's lives changed and helped. And why we saluting everyone? Because now, like you have the opportunity not just help for you or for your family, but for help so many other people as well. And to seeing this field to grow, this is the rewarding for us, and that's why we are saluting everyone. So
it's the fruits of your efforts, right? We are the fruits of your efforts. And so, yeah, I can see that it goes both ways, that you're glad we're here, but we're so grateful that you went first, or we wouldn't have the opportunity to be here. So such an important message. So thank you so much. Folks, please get back to the person who invited you to come and watch this. Get yourself enough of this wearable NeuroTech to wear it from laundry day to laundry day, and come back and tell us what you notice. You're definitely going to have more balance. You're definitely going to have more stability. You're definitely going to have more range of motion. 90% of people get some kind of pain management difference. See what happens for you. See what happens for you. What we know for sure is it's going to help you to work on your wellness, and wherever your wellness is now, it's going to get better. From the most elite athlete there is to the most fragile person you know, everybody goes to their optimum. So please try this product. Thank you so much, Kevin, Sil, Terry, Lori, for being with us tonight. I really appreciate it. Everybody appreciates hearing from you. We appreciate that you went first for all of us, that you're leading the field. And ladies and gentlemen, we will be back, Kevin and I, in 2 weeks with 2 more stories of people that have been impacted by this tech. Thank you so much for being here.
We
Good night,
salute
everybody.
you, Krista. We love you,
Thank
and
you,
we
Kate.
have nobody better at the helm than you for these calls, and our most beautiful and favorite MC of all time.
Thank you, my dear.
Second that.
Good night.
Krista. Thank you, everybody. for
Thank
being
you,
here.
everybody.
Nice to see you,
thank you,
Loretta.
everyone. Have a good night.
Coffee this week, Loretta.
Thanks, everybody. Good night.